What about this idea that there is this gray area between the message of a false prophet and the message of a true prophet? Is it either or is it like this book is assuming that it's this in-between area that we really need to focus on in regards to Ellen White?
I don't see gray area in scriptures. If it's God's prophet, he will speak with God's authority, and and God is going to make clear for us. Why would God give us a prophet and then we be confused? Then whose fault it is really that we are confused? It's not prophet's fault, it's God's fault then. Then you're blaming everything on God for giving his word, and then the prophet is kind of, we can't really clearly tell if that's an inspired word or not inspired. I guess we'll just do whatever we want. Then what's the point of sending a correction through a prophet? It makes completely zero sense. And so there's no biblical precedent for when God speaks with clarity. It's when it's people who don't want to receive it, they murky the waters. They try to say, you know, maybe you're not inspired. Maybe you're inspired yesterday, but not today. Maybe, you know, all kinds of things that they were saying against, well, maybe she's menopausal, or first she was too young to understand the visions, and then she became menopausal, and then she became influenced by James, by Wagner, every time she says something you don't like, oh, that's not inspired. So who is then inspired? Me, because I determine what is inspired and what is not inspired. And then I become a prophet and not her. Instead of prophet correcting me and my behavior, I start correcting the prophet.
You're basically saying the question is, who's the one that determines the gray area? Because if it's gray, it's assuming that it's a mix between true and false, and it's up to me or a reader to determine, hey, this is white and this is black.
If you're trying to determine what is in the gray area, actually, this is what Ellen White. Now you're free to do that, and this book is doing. It's a free country. You can say, oh, this is inspired, this is not inspired. There's a gray area. If you want to do that, that's fine. But don't tell us that Ellen White wanted you to do so, because this is what she clearly says. She says, many times in my experience, I have been called upon to meet the attitude of a certain class who acknowledged that the testimonies were from God, just like this book, but took the position that this matter and that matter was Sister White's opinion and judgment. This suits those who do not love reproof and correction, and who, if their ideas were crossed, have occasion immediately to explain the difference between the human and the divine. If the preconceived opinions or particular ideas of some are crossed in being reproved by testimonies, they have a burden at once to make plain their position, to discriminate between the testimonies, defining what is Sister White's human judgment and what is the word of the Lord. Everything that sustains their cherished ideas is divine, of course, and the testimonies to correct their errors are just human. Sister White's opinions. And this is from manuscript 16, 1889. And this is how you make of no effect the words of her testimony. You can say, oh, she's inspired, oh, she's a prophet, but then whenever she reproves you, oh, that's not inspired. So you're not saying she's not a prophet. You're not discarding her, but you're making her words of no effect unto your life. And this is really a deception of the devil.